What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Mike. Hope everybody's having a great day. And in today's video, I'm gonna be showing you guys the best PC settings for Warzone. So if you guys are on console, I'm sorry this does not apply for you guys because PC just has so many settings that you can change and console doesn't. But for today's video, I'm gonna be showing you guys the best Windows settings and the best Nvidia filters to maximize your FPS in Warzone and make it look better. So if you guys enjoyed the video, smash that like button. Let's get 5 likes on today's video. And if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe with that bell on so you don't miss another future upload. And also, if you guys can follow me on Twitch, it would mean a lot. I'll leave it in the description below, but I also put it on the screen right here. It's at prettyboymike. You'll see it on the screen right here. And without further ado, let's jump into the settings. So on our Windows desktop, you guys are going to want to go to the Windows key or just go to the search bar at the bottom left and type in background apps. Now make sure you guys have this off, because if you guys have it on, all these apps are going to be running in the background, and we do not want that if we want the most FPS possible, so make sure to turn it off. Now go back to the search bar and type in power and sleep settings, and make sure you guys have these on never if you don't want your PC to shut off while you're like not using it idle. But you guys are going to want to go to additional power settings and make sure high performance is on. If you guys do not have the setting here, just go to that little arrow right here to show additional plans, and it should be there. I think these two are flipped if you don't have it on already, but it should be there. So just make sure to turn it on. Now that we're back into the search bar, go to game mode settings. Make sure this is on. Go to graphics settings. And right here, you guys might need to do a little bit of testing because I know some people may have problems with this, but this is going to give us more FPS. So make sure you guys have it on. But if you have problems with it, turn it off. But if you can handle it, make sure it's on. Then you guys are going to want to go to Xbox game bar, and you guys can turn this off, but I play with my friends that are on Xbox, so I need to join the party. They do not use Discord, so I use the Xbox party. When I press the Windows key and G, this screen pops up, and that's how I join parties and stuff. So I need it on, but you guys can turn it off if you do not use the Xbox game bar or whatever. That's just personal preference right there. I need to use it because I joined my friends on Xbox. But that's pretty much it for the Windows settings. Next, we're going to move on to the Nvidia Control Center. So now on your desktop, you guys are going to want to right click your mouse and go over to Nvidia Control Panel. Now that it's open, you guys are going to want to go to Adjust Image Settings with Preview and press the middle one, use the Advanced 3D Image Settings. So I'm not really too familiar with the Nvidia Control Panel. I just did my research and found that these are the best settings for it. So go to the middle one, use the Advanced 3D Image Settings. Next, go to Manage 3D Settings. And you guys are just going to want to copy all my settings right here. So I'm going to scroll down slowly and just make sure to copy them correctly. Now you guys are going to want to go over to change resolution. And make sure, don't go with the Ultra HD, HD, SD. Go to your PC section right here and make sure you guys have the highest you guys have. So, you know, you using the maximum potential of your monitor. Mine is 4K, 144 Hertz. So I use that. I know people do not change it and they have 60 Hertz, but just make sure you change it. If your monitor can run more Hertz and more resolution, make sure you guys change that. Then you guys are going to want to go to adjust color settings if you're not using Nvidia filters. And right here, just open up your game and you guys can adjust whatever you guys want to make it look better. But I use Nvidia filters, so I have not touched this at all yet. But without further ado, let's jump into the Nvidia filters. Before we get started with the Nvidia filters, I just want to show you guys the best graphic settings for Warzone. This is going to make your Nvidia filters look better and your Warzone run smoother because it's going to give us more FPS. So on general settings, you guys are going to make sure you guys have, if you're on PC with a controller, have your FOV at 110. And if you're a keyboard and mouse, have it at 120. Just keep in mind the higher the FOV, the further your enemies will look. So just keep that in mind. So this is basically personal preference, but you go to advanced and ADS field of view, have it on affected, because if it's independent, every time you ADS, it's going to zoom into the normal console FOV, which I think it's 80. And when you have it on affected, it's not going to zoom in when you ADS, and it's going to stay the same FOV that you have up here, which mine, in my case, it's 110. Your brightness, just do what it says. Have your middle one at barely visible. I have my Nvidia filters on, so it looks very visible, but when I turn them off, it's going to be barely visible. So just do what it says. For me, 55 was perfect. horizontal heads up display and vertical heads up, 100/100 personal preference, skip introduction, tooltips personal preference, subtitles colorblind personal preference, minimap shape. This is important, have it on square. If you have it round, as you guys can see here, this is a small map, so it doesn't really matter, but for like the Verdansk map, if you have it on round, and let's say there's an enemy on the top right corner, you will not be able to see him, so just have it on square, because if you call in a UAV, you will be able to see him if he does not have ghost. So square is the best one, so make sure you have it on square. Minimap rotation, have it enabled. Compass direction text, I have mine on letters, but it just depends on whether you want to say he's west or he's 270. So it's personal preference. And everything else right here, this is all personal preference as well. Now let's jump over to the graphics settings. For your display mode, you guys are going to want to go over to full screen. I am a streamer and I do YouTube, so I have mine on full screen borderless, because it's just easier for me to press the Windows key and not have to wait that little black screen that pops up whenever you're on full screen. And I won't have to tab to go to other applications. But if you're not a streamer, just go to full screen. It gives you more FPS, so just put on full screen. Display monitor, this is what monitor you have that is displaying. Display adapter is just your graphics card. Screen refresh rate, just put it on whatever the highest refresh rate your monitor is. Mine is 144. Render resolution 100. I play on 1440p, and I know you guys saw earlier I am 4K monitor, but I play on 1440p Warzone because it gives me more FPS than 4K does. And Warzone is one of those games that if you have a 4K TV or monitor, I recommend playing on 1440p for the competitive advantage of FPS. So just play 1440p on Warzone, it's the best. Aspect ratio, automatic. VSync, have it off unless you get screen tearing, like in this picture right here. But if you do not get screen tearing, just have it off. But if you do, have it on. Custom frame rate limit, this is personal preference. I have mine on custom because whenever I'm in game, I have mine on 300 FPS to show that's the max. And it's just, I know my monitor cannot reach that, but it's just cool. It's nice looking at the number go past 144 Hertz. So I just have mine on 300. Menu custom frame rate limit, this is for like the menu. I have just put it on 60 so your PC doesn't waste much FPS on the menu because it doesn't really need it. So just have it on 60. Nvidia highlights, I have this disabled because I do not want it to record like random gameplay, so I just have it disabled. Nvidia reflex low latency enabled plus boost. Display gamma, if you have a monitor, have it on 2.2, and if you have a TV, just put it at 2.4. Streaming quality, normal. Texture resolution, normal. If your PC is not that good, then have it on low, but if your PC is really good, I recommend normal for the most FPS. Texture filter anisotropic, have it high. Particle quality, this one's weird. On high, it gives us more FPS than it does on low, so I have it just high, and I recommend high as well. Bullet impacts and spray, enabled. Tessellation, all. On-demand texture streaming, disabled. Shadow map resolution, normal. Cache spot and cache sun shadows, enabled both. This gives us more FPS, so just have them both on. Particle lighting, this one doesn't really drop our FPS if you have it on ultra, so I just have it on ultra for the nice graphics, but you guys could drop it if you guys want. DirectX ray tracing, disabled. If you have it enabled, it's gonna kill your FPS a lot, so I have mine disabled. Ambient occlusion, both. Screen space reflection on high. Filmic strength 1. Nvidia DLSS quality, but you guys could also have this off. The DLSS is kind of iffy. Sometimes it works for some people and for others it doesn't work. So if you guys want to test it on quality, try it out. But quality is the best one out of all of them. Depth of field enabled. World motion blur disabled. Weapon motion blur, I have mine enabled, but you guys can have it disabled as well. Film grain 0 and everything else, or dynamic resolution disabled, and dynamic resolution frame rate target, it's on 60 because it's disabled. So those are the best graphic settings for Warzone. And now let's jump into the Nvidia filters. So guys, now that we're in the game, all you guys are gonna want to do is press Alt and Z on your keyboard, and you guys will get the GeForce experience. And you guys are gonna want to open game filter. And now look, this is the filters on, and now let's look at them off. You see how dark it gets? And let's look at them on right now. Look how bright and good it looks right now. So you guys are gonna want to go details, brightness and contrast and color in that same order. And you guys are gonna want to put your details to sharpen at 75%, clarity to 74%, HDR toning to 24%, and bloom to 0%. Now you guys are gonna want to move over to brightness and contrast. Then you guys are gonna want to put on exposure on 0, contrast at 15%, highlights negative 60%, shadows negative 80%, and gamma at 0%. Now we move on over to color. For color, you guys are gonna want to put tint color at 35%, tint intensity at 10%, temperature at 0, vibrance at 74.9, and your game, or depending on your monitor as well, but like just do similar to those numbers. If it looks different from your monitor to my monitor, if it looks different, just change it up a little. It should look good. Now let's see it with no filters and with filters. As you guys can see, it looks good. Now you guys will just want to press done and just exit out of the game, and look how good it looks now. And yeah, that's all you guys got to do. Hey guys, I forgot to make an outro for this video, so here it is. If you guys enjoyed the video, smash that like button. Let's get 5 likes on the video. And if you guys are new to the channel and want to get better at Call of Duty, subscribe with that bell on so you don't miss another time that I upload. And if you guys can follow me on Twitch, it will help me out a lot. I'll leave it in the description below. And I hope to see you guys in my next video, and I'm out. Peace.